if his history hasn't taught us anything, it's like question everything. And then especially as Black people, you know what I mean? Like if anybody should distrust the medical system, it should be Black people. Like historically, we have been experimented on. We have been, used as guinea pigs. About when Jesus is asking them, like, why do you forsake the commands for the sake of your tradition? Like, we are following things just out of habit and not really questioning people anymore. A lot of people don't have the knowledge of how they're even producing these vaccines. Sometimes they're using aborted fetal cells and things of that nature to come up with vaccines that they're using. And so for me, it poses an ethical or a spiritual dilemma in that. Like,
my thing is, if it's not the way that God designed it, something is wrong.
One of the things I've learned is just the medical system, unfortunately, lies. We inherently trust them.
They got like 20 extra ingredients in it, and you don't even know what that is. It's not simple stuff like flour and sugar. All of these chemical processes that they have done to this food is taking us out left and right.
But it's not normal.
Not normal, yeah.
Like I heard somebody say that, and it really was profound to me, and it like stuck with me. So much stuff we normalize, it's not normal. We call public with this right now. Like a city on a guitar. Now, one of the things I'm excited about, which has a lot of people like on their soapbox, is the whole appointment of RFK. So, I mean, yeah, I just think that, we talk about, community health, and we talk about like the whole vaccine debate and things like that. It's very sensitive. Like people have been divided, friendships have been broken and things like that. But I just see like, it's really nothing that's outside of the Bible. Like we blindly follow. Like I just always think about when Jesus is asking them, like, why do you forsake the commands for the sake of your tradition? Like we are following things just out of habit and not really questioning people anymore. Yeah. So I'm really excited that he's like, going in and shaking up tables to ask the questions that make sense. Because the thing is, when it comes, and this is like a whole rabbit hole in itself, when we talk about vaccinations, there is not the same vaccinations that were given from our parents' generation or even our generations. When they're going in to vaccinate, you're getting like 8 vaccines in one shot. Yeah. So it may be one shot, but the schedule is up to like 64 vaccinations. And then especially when we look at it from the lens of us as believers, we don't know how a lot of people don't have the knowledge of how they're even producing these vaccines. Sometimes they're using aborted fetal cells and things of that nature to come up with these vaccines that they're using. And so for me, it poses an ethical or a spiritual dilemma in that. Like, I don't support abortion. That's not something that I align with. So with that being said, why would I then want to potentially experiment with my child, with myself, with these vaccines in a way that is harmful and they don't even know? Like, look at all the things that they're saying about COVID vaccine now that is coming out, how Dr. Fauci need to be put up under the jail because like these people blatantly lie. One of the things I've learned is just the medical system, unfortunately, lies. We inherently trust them when we should not. We should question everything, and they should be able to provide us with the evidence to support it. So I'm excited about, that appointment and to see, what unfolds. And I just want more than anything is people to ask questions.
Right. Right. Yeah. Like the fact that people can't even look at their own lives and like just observe that something is wrong and just be able to acknowledge like, y'all, something has to be wrong. It's almost like because things have become so normalized, right? It's just what we expect and we don't question it. My thing is, if it's not the way that God designed it, something is wrong. So God said our bodies are good. God said the food that he gave us to eat is good. But if the food that I'm eating is doing harm to my body and something wrong with something is wrong with the food. If my body is not responding to the food that I should be eating the right way, something is wrong with my body. If it's not in God's design, something is wrong with it. It's abnormal. It doesn't matter that it's been this way for 50 years, my whole generation. That don't mean it's right, and that don't mean it's normal. And it's like people aren't even willing to acknowledge that something is wrong. And I'm like, y'all do know that the numbers don't lie. So they've given us the statistics on autism alone.
Yeah. And it's not the same. And even when we say that, like what they were giving back then is not the same they were giving out. The food,
No,
everything is different, you know?
correct,
So like,
correct.
oh, no, it's not.
They keep adding, like they've shown, like you've seen those pictures where they'll show, like, let's say Oreos, for example,
Mhm.
from 19 whenever it was made, what was the ingredients in it, to like current day. They got like 20 extra ingredients in it, and you don't even know what that is. It's not simple stuff like flour and sugar. There,
Mhm.
all of these chemical processes that they have done to this food is taking us out left and right. And
Mhm.
so it's wrong, y'all. And you can't say like, oh well, it's gonna take away jobs. Well, let it take away the jobs. Because if it comes to my life and your job, my life more important than your job. You can go find another job. But people are literally dying because of our
Mhm.
food industry and in the medical industry in general. And you need somebody who's going to go in and correct it. Otherwise, do you understand that? I don't think people really look at the magnitude of things. So of course, I'm
Yeah.
working with medical students and working in the medical field just as a mental health clinician. You see the burden on every industry. It is
Mhm.
a true burden. In your industry, there's a burden with birthing in birthing spaces. There's a huge burden. And doctors don't want to be burdened this much with all of the things that all the problems that are coming at them. They should be dealing with critical cases that need a lot of attention to, resolve health issues that have just gone awry. They should not be dealing with stuff like these chronic illnesses that just should not exist. So if you really look at it from that perspective, we could have a lot more peace, a lot less stress in
Mhm.
our lives if our industries would calm down. If my industry did not have to deal with so much depression and anxiety and suicidality, we would be much better as a profession because if we could just deal with people's adjustment to like life's issues and transitions and being able to help them come up with a plan versus having to diagnose you with bipolar disorder here because you've been depressed and you got general anxiety over here because you don't like being around people. It's too many extremes that we're having to deal with as everyday problems that should
Mhm.
just be on extreme case by case situations, and that
It's
is,
common, but
yeah,
it's not normal.
not normal.
Like I
Yeah,
heard somebody say that and it really was profound to me and it like stuck with me. So much stuff we normalize is not normal. It's just common and it should not be. So we have to, ask those tough questions so we can start to unravel this like matrix that we're in of like lies and deception that have been told
correct.
to us. Like flat out, like it's no sugarcoating it. Like, it is lies. So
It's lies. Yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot to unpack, but I hope that people will not shy away from asking the questions and really evaluating, wanting to dive deeper because sometimes people may be apprehensive. Oh, I just don't want to know,
mhm,
but we need to know because it's important. Like
right.
God wants us to have a knowledge and understanding, not to be blind um to these things. So it's a lot to unpack. um but yeah, I really hope that as more light is being shed in these areas, that we really thinking critically
Yeah,
about things, and how processes works and not just blindly. I'm like, if his history hasn't taught us anything, it's like question everything. And then especially as Black people, you know what I mean? Like
mm,
if anybody should distrust the medical system, it should be Black people. Like historically, we have been experimented on. We have been, used as guinea pigs. We have been, formed. Um, we
yeah.
have done all these things like, tested upon. So it's like if anybody should question, it should be us, not just, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it and yeah, it's cool, it's okay. Type of situation.
And instead, y'all are more concerned with a few high paid individuals losing their positions. And I'm just like, our whole culture, life, race, whatever, people want to categorize it, is at stake. And
Hmm.
y'all think that that's okay. Like, we are literally, I think, in the negatives when it comes to like the birth rate, like the population is declining
Mm.
because y'all are okay with killing our babies, and it's not making no kind of sense. And to your point, like I think because people see it as like, oh, tradition and history has been like that for so long, as far as they have known, that they just accept it. But we never go back and question, well, how was it 100 years ago, Or how were things 500 years ago? Like, if you had an emergency that took place, or let's just say a sickness, let's just be basic. You had a cold that came on and you were getting sick and it wasn't getting better. What would they have done 500 years ago?
Yeah.
Because those are the things that last. We
Shoot,
should
100 years ago, because like we didn't even have the option or luxury to go to the hospitals.
correct, correct. So my thing is, what was they doing then that's not being done now? And that might give us an indication of the problem. Because just because it's technology and it's advancement doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
You know,
I
so
would say one of the things I've learned, even like from like the birth perspective, but it can relate as a whole, is that these complexes have done an amazing job of making us doubt and distrust our own instincts and body.
right.
You know what I mean? Like if we're being gaslit on all fronts when it comes, even if when we talk about like y'all gaslight us so bad, talking about y'all landing on the moon and stuff like that. Like stop it. Like, you know, we're gaslit on all fronts to fuel this agenda. And it's like, please, like we have to be able to like sit down and assess. Like it don't make sense. Like, I mean, of course I say it to y'all all the time. I'm like, now how y'all get on the moon? And and y'all was calling presidents and stuff, and my phone
Right.
service don't even work on the elevator in 2025. Like, make it make sense, people. I need us to think, to ask questions, and critically think here. Like, not just accept things
Yeah,
um because it's presented to you. Come on now.
child. And people
God
want to
says,
get mad
ask
because you
for
won't.
wisdom. Like he will give it to us, you know.